Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
As we thunder our way up to Otaki and say good morning to Otaki Ward Councillor James Cootes. Good morning, James.
Good morning, how are you doing?
I'm well. It's not a Friday, so don't get fouled up with me calling you on a Tuesday. Well, we're not far behind schedule, but I just thought, well, we're not going to be able to speak to you on Friday. We'll have a little chat today. So, Otaki, I went up to the opening of the Maoriland Film Festival. What a night that was at Rangiatea Church. Have you been to any of the movies or activities?
No, look, unfortunately it falls in a real busy time of the year for me, as you are aware, being, for my business it's Christmas and Easter,
yes,
and it's sort of all hands on deck, and sort of coincides with a few other engagements that I had as well. So, but that being said, those that I have spoken to have just thoroughly enjoyed Maoriland Film Festival, really respect the work that those do in terms of putting it on and doing it so professionally. It goes to show what a small town, a small community can actually achieve. Libby and the crew have done a really great job there, and it's just really impressive.
Yes. Well, the council's supported them over the last 5 years, haven't they, with some money to keep that thing going, and it must bring a lot of money to Otaki.
Yeah, so we support them through the events fund, and I should be clear, for those, I guess, that are listening, all of the applicants through the Events Fund have to do surveys, and we have a tool or a mechanism that we get from, it's not central government, but one of the agencies to measure their impact on the community and the return on investment for that money that Maoriland and other events like Costello get from the council. Is, sometimes 4 to 5 times the return on investment, sort of from memory. Look, it's a drop in the bucket in terms of the work and effort that goes into something like Maoriland. So it's certainly, when they get those funds, it doesn't mean they just hire lots of people and sit back. There's a lot of blood, sweat and tears that goes into running an event like that, similar with the Kite Festival as well.
Yes, that's right. And of course, they're coming from all over the world to see this. I mean, Greenland, for a start, unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah,
so look, that's the interesting thing with Maoriland compared to some other events. I mean, I have a lot of respect for the Kite Festival, for example, and even Costello, but I know more about the Kite Festival. That does bring people, to Otaki from all over I'd say the lower area of New Zealand. I imagine there may be a few people that travel from further afield, and there are some international people from Australia and that, but they're usually the ones that are paid to come and fly kites and so forth. But with Maoriland, it's really an international attraction. So yes. I think that's the difference. The scale, the opportunity of it is much greater, and I know even, I guess because I know a little bit more about it. I don't know everything about it, but I know a little bit more about it. Even the road show that they put on and travel around the country, doing things with schools and kura, the vision for Maoriland is much greater than just Otaki.
Sure.
And I guess that's why it is as impressive as it is.
And those are the sorts of events you're going to need once the expressway is operating up through Otaki. And how's that expressway going, James?
Yeah, good. Look, I didn't think there's a heck of a lot to report back since the last time we've chatted about it. If you're driving through the area there and you're going up what we locally know as the ramp, as you head past BP and head up to the Waitahu area there, if you look to your left, you'll see the foundations for the first bridge that's been constructed. And then once that bridge is constructed, the traffic will be moved on to that bridge. To the left of that very big footing or foundation for that bridge will be where the rail will sit. So that's to the southern side of the bridge abutment or whatever they call it.
Yes.
And the expressway will be on the northern side of that. So that's quite a significant piece of infrastructure, and I guess a significant piece of the project. You'll also see that Pariomatangi Reserve on the right-hand side, or the eastern side of State Highway 1 has all been cleared. And so that's a shame. That's years and years of hard work by volunteers within the community that have turned what was a gorse and blackberry-ridden piece of land into something that was quite special. That being said, they've been very positive around, I guess, the expressway going through, and that work being removed, and PP2O are working with them to reinstate that park in a new with a new look and a new feel. So
Sure.
they're working with that group.
I suppose one of the big things coming up will be the shifting of the rail line.
That's right. I mean, so there's some key dates, some key things that they need to achieve, and moving the rail is one of them. It's a bit like a domino effect. They can't sort of do one thing until they do another, and hence why they need to get that bridge built at the Waitahu there, so they can move the rail, and then they can redirect the traffic, and then they can focus on the area where the rail was and where the traffic was. The other significant area that they have been working on, or two, I guess, really, is the eastern side of the Otaki River Bridge, and so you'll see a couple of big cranes there, and I understand they've already put a couple of piles down in terms of, or I'm not too sure the technical term, boards, whatever, for the footings of the bridge there, down 35 metres into the ground for the new Otaki River Bridge to carry the expressway traffic across the Otaki River. And then further south from there, you'll see that they've cleared most of the properties. So if you're up in a helicopter or an aeroplane sort of looking through there, now would be quite apparent the designation for the expressway, because it's quite barren and clear of trees and houses and so forth.
Now, the KCDC are looking for long-term plan progress. How's your long-term plan going for Otaki?
Yeah, so look, I was out this morning, 7 a.m. on the, well, I was actually up at 5 a.m, but I was out on the train platform at 7 a.m. handing out brochures to the long-term plan. We've got our draft long-term plan out for the consultation, and basically encouraging people within the community to get engaged and to share their views. There'll be, I know from, I guess, my experience around the table, there'll be a myriad of views. There'll be those that want us to spend less and keep rates down. There'll be those that want us to build parks and sports stadiums and velodromes and all sorts of things, and councillors then have to sit back once we read, listen to and read all the submissions, and then try and make an educated decision based on that feedback. And like I'd say, that's a tough job. But that aside, I guess the key message today is just to get engaged, read the information, make a submission. We've also got a Facebook Q&A session tomorrow night between 7 and 9 p.m, and I think the topic on that one is stormwater. It's one of the major issues facing our district, and so we've got a number of different, I guess, channels or opportunities for people to find out information and also to ask questions. I'll also personally be down at the Otaki Library. I haven't got that date in front of me, but that can be found on the council website, and available with staff to talk to people about the LTP as well. So this is to shape the future plans for Kapiti and for Otaki. You had mentioned what's in it for Otaki. The board is yet to form its submission on the LTP, and as a councillor, I guess I have some sort of input into that, but generally we step back from that because it's we have to vote on it, so we tend to step back from those submissions and then have our say at the table. But there's certainly some things that ideas and stuff that I've put forward for Otaki. One of the major things facing Otaki, though, is one of those flooding issues.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, and just finally, rates, they're sort of talking about 4.6, I think it is at the moment, but has that got to be increased a wee bit, do you think, or is it going to be fairly static?
I think I'd be as bold as saying no. I think the proposed increase for the 18-19 year is 4.7. I'm hopeful that we can come in below that. Sometimes we have some surpluses from building consents and so forth, but then we also need to leave ourselves a little bit of headroom as well, because as you probably know through things like the annual plan and the long-term plan, you get a giant wish list from people about we should do this and we should do that, and everything's the most important thing in the world to them. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but often that's how it comes across. I think in the last year's annual plan we had $170,000 worth of requests in that annual plan, and we said no to virtually all of them unless they could be done with an existing budget. And we still ended up with a rate increase much higher than our community. I think it was over 5.5%. I think it was about 5.7%. Understandably, people were very upset about that. So I think, as I've said before, the general consensus around the table is to spend less and pay back more, and try to keep rates affordable. And there's a long-term, there's a 6-year strategy to that. We are not going to see massive rate reductions in the first year or the second year. In order to achieve this, we've got to reduce our capital expenditure and reduce our debt. So that becomes very challenging if people want us to spend more.
James, I'll let you get back into the dough and make some more of those hot cross buns. Thanks for your valuable time. Have a nice Easter.
You too. Thanks very much.
James Cootes, Otaki Ward Councillor here on Beach FM.
106.3 Beach FM.